Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is for the players. My name is Phoenix Lee. I'm back. Woo! It is good to be back. It is good to be feeling great. It is amazing. I am in the best mood of my life right now. I haven't posted a video in 8 months? Are you serious? What's wrong with my brain? Look, I'll give you the lowdown on what's been going on in my life. I started a university course, working full time. Number 3, I have a kid now. I know, responsibility, right? With these 3 things, I found time to play a lot of DBZ. Trust me, I've been playing a lot, especially now I'm on uni break and uni holidays. I'm smashing it, I'm playing a lot. But I honestly lost track and could not afford the time to do my videos. I'm making a promise to you all though. I'm back for good. I'm gonna have at least 1 video a week, even through all these stressful times. Because I love doing this, I love bringing content to you guys, I love putting my own opinions, my own words out there. There is a couple of things I would like to outline though, and it's also kind of what drew me away from my videos in the first place. There's a lot of negativity out there. I understand people are very passionate about this game and people want this game to succeed. I understand that, and I agree with you. I want it to succeed as well. And there's a lot of people telling me what I should and shouldn't have done with my channel. Number 1, I shouldn't have listened to them in the first place. But number 2, honestly, if you're going to give me feedback, I would like it to be constructive. If you're going to be a butthead about it, I'm probably going to ignore you. Number 2, I love suggestions. I really do like suggestions, and I love deck building. Deck building is my favorite aspect of this game. If you send me a suggestion, like if you say black 18, red 17, where was I going with this? Red 17 is actually a really good idea. See how off track I get? Anyway, the point is, if you're going to send me a deck idea, cool, I'd like to bounce ideas and send it off like that. If you send me a deck list and say, do this exact deck list, look, I'm not trying to sound mean here, but you might as well make your own channel. This is my channel with my content and my deck ideas and the way I build things. And the way I build things and play things is different to the way everyone else does. And that's totally fine. I'm not saying mine's better. What I'm saying is, you know, if you have an exact deck idea and you have an exact preference and you have an exact list you want represented, get out there, make your own content, you know, make another channel. We need more DBZ players doing amazing YouTube content like this. But if you expect me to just do it exactly as it is and not change it and make it my own and have fun with it, number 1, I'm not going to put up a good video because it's not mine and I'm not as passionate about it as you are. And number 2, it's not going to feel like mine. I'll try and cover as much content as possible on meta to make it relevant for the scene, but this is my own channel, my own deck decks. I love rogue deck building. I don't like following the meta, even though I did play Namekian and Piccolo for quite a while. I like doing my own decks and my own thing and trying to break the meta in a new way. So yes, I'm super excited. If you guys want to start bringing out your own videos, absolutely. Bring it on. Let's build this community. The last thing, I want to end on a really good note, that I understand I've brought up the issue that I was a bit time poor, so I'm going to start bringing in other people. I'm going to start building a team, and we're going to start putting out content as a team. I've got some great Australian players here. 2 of the guys who went to Worlds I'm pretty good friends with and I play with quite frequently. So, you know, drop a few names and rub a few shoulders. Yeah, so I'm really happy that I get to spend time playing with these guys and some of the top players in Australia, and I really want to bring some of their matches to you. So I'm going to have hopefully some more people, some more great Australian players doing some great Australian content on the Australian meta, on the American meta, on all that sort of stuff, versus videos. Deck techs are my thing. I love doing my deck techs. Box openings, I'll probably get someone else to do those, even though I love cracking packs. So we're building a team at Worlds, we're coming for you. I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna take it. And this wouldn't be a DBZ video without me doing some form of DBZ related video. So I'm gonna start back at the very start, back with what I originally wanted to do, and I haven't promised and I haven't done for you guys at all, but I'm gonna do it right now. And it's also a deck tech, so it's something that it's my favorite thing to do. It's a rogue build, it's blue, it's my favorite color. It is the baddest villain of DBZ there has ever been. He's recently been revived. It is Frieza. It is a Frieza blue deck tech. I'm finally bringing you this, guys. But I'm not playing the Dragon Ball version that I originally said I would. because this version is absolutely way better. So without further ado, let's begin. We start off with Frieza level 1. Now, a lot of people think his power is underwhelming, but whenever you block, you raise an anger. There are so many blocks in this game that raise you anger when you block as well, making this an absolute dual threat. There's red blocking hand, there is black knee catch, to name a few. You can gain 3 anger from those. The Frieza and the blue mastery, you can absolutely gain 2 anger straight away from that by discarding a blue style card for it. So it's not very long before you're actually hitting level 2. I found, unless you get wall breaker, it's really not that hard to get off level 1, but we've got ways to get around that. They've introduced us ways, and I will tell you all about it. Level 2, Golden Frieza. This is amazing. When this came out, I read it and I was like, oh my god, what else, what more could they do? First of all, it's a physical attack. It's only AT, but it's AT life cards, and his power level is huge. It's 150 million, so at the end of the day, if you can gain your stages, you're going to be up high. This attack gains you 3 stages though, before it's an effect, so before you even do the life cards. So you can always push yourself up a bracket or 2. The conditional effect afterwards, you may rejuvenate a Frieza style card to use a critical damage effect. Absolutely. This is single-handedly, in my opinion, better than Krillin, because you have to wait for a card is discarded, and you might not get that chance straight away. While this, you instantly have the choice to rejuve a Frieza name card, which hurts your supernovas, but it protects your supernovas as well, but you can get it from the discard or the banish zone. But yes, Frieza, he does amazing things, and you get an instant crit then. In blue, where this is great is, we could do a ball deck with this and stay on level 2 and just crit back balls constantly. This would be great. But no, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do, actually advance from this level. We really, I really built this deck with MPPV in mind, and it gets so close sometimes, but most of the time it beats people out before it even MPPVs. And I'm really happy about that. So this level is great if you want to stay on it, but we really want to be above this. We really want to try and MPPV if we can. His level 3, once again, usually level 1 powers, so raise an anger every time you block. Heaps of stuff that will allow us to do that. And number 3 also gives us an extra 3 power stages on every single attack. This can be absolutely devastating in some matchups against things like Black Krillin and stuff like that, but every attack gets +3 stages. This is almost like a Turles, where you're just constantly adding extra stages, adding extra pressure to decks that, and if you're playing energies, like it's dual damage then, which we are playing a lot of energy attacks. We're doing a lot of dual damage, which forces people to block quite significant numbers. And finally we get to level 4. This is exactly what I had MPPV in mind for. This level 4 does everything. We get our Frieza level 2 back, so we get that AT damage, AT life card damage, we get the rejuve, we get the critical damage effect, but we also then, once we do that, we get to destroy the top 4 of their, and then search out a Frieza name card and attack. We have a supernova in hand every single turn. They need an energy block every single turn, otherwise they are going to die. There is absolutely nothing they can do about it. And the amount of blocks, and you'll see how many blocks I'm going to throw in this deck, the amount of blocks we have, we can absolutely MPPV from here as well, using Overpowering Drill and using the Mastery. This is a great deck, and it's a great build. I've had a lot of fun with it. And once I show you the rest of the build, I hope you guys too. We start off with our staples I should say. I don't believe any card's really a staple anymore, except for Time. You always play Time, and that's where we're starting. 1 times Warrior's Tool. This card does it all. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. Let's move on. Spheres, we've covered spheres. Running 1 sphere, only got 1 villainous sphere, but it's an absolute necessity in this deck. It's necessary, we need it. Blue doesn't have any other turn-off event cards, and there's so many events nowadays, especially if you're running Orange 20, Orange Destruction. Namekian still has a bunch of events that need sphering. We can VTP for it, so 1 sphere absolutely is going in. 3 stare down. Partially, if I had more spheres, I would probably remove a few stare downs, but this is our best defense against things like Time. Time hurts hurts us a lot. 3 of at the moment, but I'd probably drop that to 2 if I had another sphere. Blue Terror, an absolute must in pretty much almost any blue deck I've ever built. It is absolutely defendable, so it's a 2-stage energy attack for 3, but it searches out any card in your deck, any card you might be needing at that particular point. You can search for a block, it gets you out of things. You can search for a setup, hold it in hand until next turn. You can search for a betrayal if you need to banish something. You can search for a sphere if you know they've got a time. Something like that. You search for a dig if you know they're on the ropes and you want to just make everything unblockable. Not unblockable, unpreventable. So this is absolutely a necessary. It's one of, it's going in. We'll start with the setups. We're throwing in 3 Blue Blockade. Blue Blockade is an amazing setup, blocks a physical or an energy attack. Works really well with Frieza's level 1 and level 3. 3 of going in. 3 Blue Stretch Kick. 3 Blue Stretch Kick is going in. Raises us in anger. It's AT plus 5. It's a huge physical attack. The anger is the main reason why I wanted to throw it in, but having it on board just puts a little bit of extra pressure on our opponents, and really, it'll force a block, so then we can use Frieza's other attacks, and push something else, push some more damage through, or if they choose to take it, a lot of the time they're going to be seriously hurt. And not be able to take much more. It's pushed me over the edge in games a few times, just to that 1 extra anger, just to level and really kick it in the face. 2 VTP. This once again is almost a no-brainer. We need to get our spheres and our stare downs back. We have ways of getting our supernovas and everything back, so I don't have to worry too much about them. But absolutely. VTP to be able to fetch a betrayal, in some cases has saved my life, in some cases to fetch a time if I know I'm on the ropes. So yeah, VTP absolutely necessary going in. This is the Pièce de Résistance. This is one of the greatest things that was created for Blue Frieza. Blue Overpowering Drill. It really was created with the old Frieza in mind with the copied things, but we're not really using it for that. What we're using it for, what we're really using this card for is its anger game when we block. I've got cards in here and I'll go over them afterwards that allow us to get like 4 anger when we block with 1 attack. That is huge. It's a huge swing. This card has to be on board. We're putting 3 in of this. It's amazing. A lot of the time people won't target it until last either because it doesn't really do much. It just gains us a bit of anger. They'll mostly target our other setups, our blocks, our stretch kicks. So this is relatively well protected for a little while as well because it's not an immediate threat to people. So I find it stays on board quite well, but we still want 3 of. Finally, we're throwing in 3 Blue Dominance for the setups and drills. Now, I'm primarily an MPPV deck, but I have been wall breaking on level 1. It really hurts. It really sucks. And so does being ball 2'd down and down and down again from a really smart Namekian player. So despite me wanting to throw more anger in and just keep piling it on, 3 dominance, and look, if it's not on board, it's not on board. If you get stuck on level 3, for example, as well, sometimes that can't be very nice. So you can dominance down to 2 and just start beating them again. Really good flexible card. But just because it's on board doesn't mean you have to use it. You say it's your wall breaker and ball 2 response. So it's in there, but it's not always going to be your go-to and used card. Blue Betrayal, 3 of going in. This card does it all. It's almost free costing. It banishes just about anything you want off the board. Ally, setups, drill, something you want, you pointed it, it is gone. Frieza's AT is high enough that it sometimes can be doing 3 or 4 stages of damage at once, which is can be a significant swing. It's not huge enough. It's not that bigger deal, the damage, but being able to remove absolutely anything off the board, if you can get yourself within scary range of it. I've used it once for 6 stages with Frieza. When I had the opponent at 0, that felt really good. I think I ended up critting, stealing a ball, and things can happen with it, things can flow with it. It has to be right time, right place, but the main reason you run this is the betraying and destroying anything you want, banishing anything you want. So absolutely 3 of, this is what blue is best at. Now I talked a little bit about MPPVing. Here's the cards that are going to get us there through anger. We got Blue Backbreak. Once again, it's a bit more control. We shuffle an ally in, so anything that's really annoying us or bugging us, we can shuffle an ally in. Shuffle Jace, shuffle Gildo, and this is before they have a chance to block, mind you. But this also raises us in anger. It's a physical for 5 stages, a flat 5, so we don't have to worry about AT or anything like that. Hits hard, gains us an anger, shuffles it away a threat, going in. We're throwing in 2 of these. Blue Upward Barrage, we're throwing in 2 of these because we sometimes will have a styled setup in our hand. A lot of the time I like to keep this in hand and pass and rejuve everything else. And then when I draw a setup next turn on defense, because I always draw a setup on defense, absolutely I can play this out, play the setup out, gain 2 anger, push me over the edge, push me up a level. That's what it's in there for. It's also an energy attack for 5, which is threatening critical. Sometimes people feel it's a must block. Some people just take it and end up taking 3 or 4 life cards, and that's fine. But that's still a swing, and I've still got a setup on board that I was a dead card in hand. So this is a really good card, I feel. Blue Hand Blast. Raise me 2 anger? Absolutely. Energy for 5? Absolutely. Cost us 3, but we've got stages to pay for it, especially on Frieza level 2. Attacks, they just keep coming. We've got 3 Sinister Choke going in here. Sinister Choke is a god of a card. It's a godsend. I find a lot of the time I can make it unblockable if I time it completely correctly. Namekian Piccolo hates it. Android 20 hates it. Android 18 hates it. So a lot of the time I can make it unblockable. Even if I can't, I usually throw it out first, and it's a forced block. They must block this, otherwise they're going to take a crit. Definitely a 3-up, definitely going in. This removes the wall breaker completely for us. This, if we get wall broken, this is a physical attack, and we've got a bunch of physical attacks in the deck, so if we throw out another physical first, sometimes they're forced to block that, so we can swing in with this too. It's a great card, fantastic printing, absolutely going in 3 off. We're throwing in 2 Aldiga Graves, I call them Grave Diggers, so that's what you're going to be getting them as. 2 Grave Diggers, 6 stage, once again, really big meaty physical, set stages so you don't have to worry about AT. But the main thing you'd run it for is the switch off the endurance, which works with a couple of cards in a second. The other thing is we really want this one to hit if we get caught. I know we can't NPPV, but a lot of the damage we throw out is in the form of life cards. I know I've gone over a few stages, but we can knock people down stages pretty easily. But a lot of the major damage we really deal is things like Sinister Choke and Supernovas, which are coming up. So we don't care if they level most of the time. We just want to level, get to our level 2, get to our level 4 if we're wall broken on level 1, or if we're ball down, or if we're stuck. It really, really helps with that. It makes everything unpreventable. We can level ourselves, and absolutely we can then start wrecking face. Deal a massive amount of life cards before they even get a chance to NPPV. People don't think this is great against things like Namekian Piccolo because it can NPPV too fast. I think if you beat them out before they can NPPV, then who cares if they're on level 4 with 4 anger. If they have no cards in their life deck, then they can't get in their last anger. Finally, we get to Frieza's name cards. 3 of Frieza's Captive Strike. Captive Strike is amazing. When we block, we gain the anger. At the end of the day, it's a physical for AT. We can always throw it out last after we've done beating them with every other physical, hopefully cause some serious damage. Most of the time I like to save it for the block or discard it and not rejuve it. So it's in our discard pile for our Supernovas. Versatile in our hand, not that great unless it's used as a block, but absolutely necessary, I reckon. And we get to Frieza's Supernova. I don't think I need to introduce this card. This card is amazing. 3 stages, 5 life cards, plus 3 for every single Frieza name card in your discard pile. Most of the time, you'll have a lot in your discard pile. Frieza level 2 gets them back from the banish zone anyway. But even so, a lot of the time, even if you're hitting for simply just 8, and you dug that turn, that's 8 life cards. A lot of the time, as well, when your life deck dwindles because you've been rejuving your Supernovas, all you draw into is like Supernovas. And if you've held one, you'll draw into a second one, and they've got to then block 2 Supernovas a turn, doing incremental damage on top of each other. So Supernova is a great card, absolutely amazing. It's our absolute finisher. We can get it back from anywhere most of the time, so we're not too worried about it. It doesn't gain its anger, but it beats the living hell out of them and forces them to make some serious decisions. Cannot speak highly enough about Supernova. It is a dumb card, it is amazing, it is so much fun to hit off for like 20 life cards and just, yeah, it's dumb. It's good, it's so good. Our last attack we're throwing in is Blue Lunge. Now, I've been at a bit odds with this card for a couple of reasons. I'm thinking about switching it out for a few different things, namely Sagacious Strikes, two of, and then using the third one for another slot somewhere. But Blue Lunge has actually been working pretty well recently for me, so I'm a little bit at odds with this card. Let me know what you think. At the moment, it's sitting in there, three Blue Lunges. I love the card because it's got card advantage written all over it. It's a physical for AT plus 5, so that's a big physical already. You get to look at the top 5 and put a setup or drill from that 5 into play. At the end of the day, if you get a blue blockade on board, you've got an extra block. If you get a stretch kick on board, you've got an extra AT plus 5 physical that they've got to remove. Lastly, bring on the blocks. This is really what makes our MPPV tick for Frieza's 1 and 3, for our overpowering drill, and for our mastery. This is where it all sort of makes sense in how we MPPV. 3 blue guard. This card is amazing. I know we don't get the anger off it from the mastery if we choose to banish it to draw, but it is card advantage at the end of the day, and if we have Frieza and overpowering drill working for us, we'll still gain 2 anger for blocking it. That's huge. It's a huge swing. Being able to draw a card, gain 2 anger, and block an attack. That's what we use it for mostly, but it's also so flexible in the fact that we can just straight up block an energy attack if we have something huge facing us. Blue wrist block. Now this doesn't gain us anger, but once again, blue is amazing at control. This destroys a setup or drill as a reaction. It's blown up in the middle of the combat. This is a great card. I advocate its use all the time. Blue Safeguard, another physical block. If your opponent's anger is 0, raise your anger 2 levels. Wow. I have gained 4 anger with this card, with both Frieza level 1, overpowering drill in play, and they were on 0 anger. It's not that hard to set up, it's not that hard to time, especially a lot of decks that nowadays, like how Android 20 doesn't gain anger, Android 18 usually levels by devouring drill or something like that. Black Krillin doesn't usually level either. So a lot of the time, a lot of the decks I face don't usually have anger or run anger. So a lot of the time they are sitting at 0 anger. This is a perfect meta call for me. Being able to block, gain 2 anger, or if you have the right conditions, being able to block, gain 4 anger, and then throw out like a stretch kick and gain that last anger. In 2 actions you've leveled. That's better than most Namekian decks can accomplish. It once again has to be set up, but it's the dream and it's amazing. This card needs to go in. It is so much fun to use when you get it off properly. 2 Blue Intervention. Blue Intervention is a fantastic card. It tutors for itself. Being able to block 2 energies a turn is amazing, and get the anger gain while you're there, or the anger loss for them while you're there, is just great. And it gets it from the discard pile or your life deck, so you can usually just use it once, and then this is what I like to do. I like to use it once, wait till I draw into my second one. With my second one, then use it, banish it, draw the second one up, and I've used it 3 times in one game rather than just the once, banish, draw again. I find that much more effective use of my resources if I can manage something like that. Blue Defensive Stance, once again, stops an energy, but we're really interested in the raise or lower a player's anger 1 level. This is so flexible. We can either raise ours, and gain up to 3 anger with the right conditions, or we can just lower theirs 1 if they're getting really, really dangerously close. So this, yeah, once again, it's a block that gains anger. Throw it in, absolutely. And lastly, 2 blue shifting maneuvers. I've only got 2 in here because spheres are a thing, non-playing events are a thing. I wanted to run as little events as possible. It doesn't discard for my mastery either. We're using blue protective mastery, by the way. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. So it's a bit situational, it's a bit conditional. Most of the time we'll actually have more than three or more anger for it. So I'm really not, so most of the time, instead of being banished, a lot of the time it's actually discarded, which is a really, really good thing, because we can then VTP for it later on as well. So 2 of for its flexibility, but it's not that flexible that we want to include 3. Lastly, we come to our mastery. This is the Blue Star Mastery. I probably should have done this first. I'm a bit rusty, bear with me a minute. We all know what this does. Discard a physical or energy combat to stop a energy or physical respectively. Raise or lower a player's anger 1 level. If you discarded a blue style card, your opponent needs 6 anger. I block every turn just about. It's really flexible. I'm able to block most things, and the 6 anger is really relevant against Namekian Piccolos and your black Piccolos coming through, your black TNs, your red. It can be that 1 extra anger makes it really hard for them sometimes to just gain that extra momentum. A lot of the time they're so used to thinking 5, and then you face a protective mastery against them and they go 5 anger, I level up, and you go, no you don't, you need 1 extra anger, and they've planned their resources around having 5 anger, and they can miss out and forget because not a lot of people play this mastery where I am at the moment. So this is a really good reminder, a really good drawdown for these decks, because they get in habits, and we can break those habits wide open. So that's it. I'm back. I'm happy to be back. This is my deck tech. This is my channel update at the same time. I'm bringing you more content in 2016. I promise you that. We're putting together a team. We're going to be there. We're going to be at Worlds. Can't wait to see you guys. Can't wait to start building this channel up again. I'll see you guys real soon. My name is Phoenix Lee. I'm signing off.